Ladies and gentlemen, over the recent weeks, Russia has been talking about using nukes in Ukraine, and Joe Biden has pretty much issued what I consider a threat. He warned Russia that catastrophic consequences of using nuclear weapons in Ukraine. So they sent a warning to him. We shall see. I mean, things are dramatically changing now you know um in that part of the world it really gets very cold in the winter, and we'll see if that will slow things down or they'll just keep going strong with this war. But as it stands now, there's no end in sight to what's going on, and I'm trying to figure out what Joe Biden means. Does If he uses nukes, does that mean you send troops over there to get involved? And another thing Joe Biden made clear is he's going to continue to send aid to Ukraine. So that's not going to stop. And if you remember, Russia said anybody that's helping Ukraine, they were going to go after those nations. So far, we haven't seen anything happen, but that doesn't mean they don't have plans that we possibly may know nothing about. But who knows? I still go back to the beginning of this war where you had all of these YouTubers claiming this was not going to be a long war. You mark my word, y'all. This war is going to go well into 2023 and beyond. I don't believe there is an ending in sight. Russia is going to keep going until they take that whole nation down. He doesn't want just a certain part of it, he wants the whole thing. And they're going to keep going until they get the whole thing. So I'm going to go ahead and play this audio from the Wall Street Journal, and you'll hear the warning that the U.S. has issued to Russia over using nukes.
U.S. warns Russia of catastrophic consequences of using nuclear weapons in Ukraine. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says U.S. will continue to provide weapons to Ukraine despite Putin's nuclear threats. By Michael R. Gordon and Edward Lugol. September 25, 2022, 11:14 a.m. Eastern Time. Washington National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said the U.S. has warned Russia that it would face catastrophic consequences if it uses nuclear weapons in Ukraine. We have communicated directly privately to the Russians at very high levels that there will be catastrophic consequences for Russia if they use nuclear weapons in Ukraine, Mr. Sullivan said Sunday on the ABC News show this week. We have been clear with them and emphatic with them that the United States will respond decisively alongside our allies and partners, he said. We have communicated to the Russians what the consequences would be, but we've been careful in how we talk about this publicly. Mr. Sullivan, in a later appearance Sunday on NBC's Meet the Press, said the conversations with top Russian officials had occurred since Russian President Vladimir Putin's latest threat on Wednesday, when he announced a partial mobilization and issued a thinly veiled warning that he might employ Russia's nuclear capability if his forces were pushed into a corner. That has happened frequently over the course of the past few months, Mr. Sullivan said on NBC. It has happened even in just the last few days, but we have not wanted to indicate exactly what those channels look like because we want to be able to protect them so that we have the continuing ability to reach Russia and tell them in no uncertain terms, for example, what the consequences would be. And they would be catastrophic if Russia went down the dark road of nuclear weapons use. Mr. Sullivan's comments echoed those made by President Biden in a television interview last week and what other Biden administration officials have also said in recent days. In a televised address on Wednesday, Mr. Putin said, "I want to remind you that our country also has various means of destruction. And when the territorial integrity of our country is threatened to protect Russia and our people, we will certainly use all the means at our disposal." Those remarks by the Russian president prompted concerns that Russia might annex parts of eastern and southern Ukraine and then threaten to retaliate with nuclear weapons if Ukraine pressed attacks on that newly acquired territory. Russian officials on Friday opened polling stations in 4 areas of Ukraine that Russia controls in a staged vote on annexation, a move that Ukrainian and Western officials have derided as a sham by the Kremlin designed to deter further aid to Kyiv. Administration officials say they have detected no indications that Russia is preparing to use nuclear weapons. Mr. Sullivan added in his television appearances that the Biden administration would continue to provide weapons to Ukraine despite Mr. Putin's comments. The Russian president's previous references to his country's nuclear capability, Mr. Sullivan said, have not deterred us from providing more than $15 billion in weapons to Ukraine. And it will not deter us now. Write to Michael or Gordon at michael.gordon@wsj.com and Gordon Lubold at gordon.lubold.
Okay, y'all, so you heard what they said. Now, I don't know if potentially things can ramp up, but at this point, you really can't take anything off the table. So I know a lot of young Russian men fear being drafted, and they said they are leaving Russia by the thousands, getting out of there, kind of like what they did here in the United States, during wars, Civil War, soldiers up in Canada, Vietnam, people that were getting drafted for Vietnam running to Canada, so history will definitely repeat itself. But the US is still trying its best not to get directly involved, but I still say I don't think it can be avoided. We're going to see a lot of things change in the coming months, ladies and gentlemen. We really are. And I don't think America is ready for the tough things ahead. I don't think they're ready, and I don't think they would know what to do if these things occur. But y'all tell me what you think. Do you think that Putin will make good on his threat? Me, I already told you how I feel. I think if Putin feel like he's losing this war, he will nuke that place and he won't have a problem doing it. And that's where I stand on it. I've said that from day one and I'm saying it again. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.